Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 2. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here from High-Tech Investment and welcome back to the channel. We are in 2024. We're actually in the second week of 2024, so I thought we'll spread a bit of joy having a look again at some of all the investment portfolios that we have, especially some of the trading, see how things are developing. And as always, things are actually looking good. We are getting quite used to that. But let's start off with the yield notes. End of 2023, there was a last email here also from Steve, the CEO, regarding what is actually come to yield notes with the coins, everything else. And we had that in the last video of the year. So for the news report, you can obviously read a lot more about it through the emails, or as we have it here. One of the main parts was again the coin and the asset audit that didn't take place before the end of the year. We don't have a deadline for exactly when that's going to be done, but hopefully it will be done in the next month or two here in the beginning of 2024. Hopefully well before also that we are getting to hear more about what exactly is going to happen. We talked about the white paper also previously on the Decenomy Live, where they are now ready to share, and obviously a lot of people have anticipated this to come in the future. Obviously very positive, but again we have to have a look at the individual results. We have to see if our coins are actually coming back to live or not, and some of the coins we're even going to discuss here today. As you know already, I have SAP, I have PNY in here also that we are following. We're actually staking at the moment. Now also again they are advising us to visit the Decenomy website and again study it in there. Do whatever deep dive you need to do. There is also the article for the white paper, so you can basically check that box on the email you have received. So when you are part of the yield notes community, you cannot sign up for it right now if you have not gone into it, so that's why we will not produce any links here either. We will have to wait and see exactly how well they are coming back before we're going to share any of this again. But obviously there is a few things happening, including also a new Birec affiliate earning link. You can read more about it here on the page. I'm not going to go into too much details on it, but you can grab your custom invitation link once again here. It will also be in the video description below, so if you want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the link and then using it. There's obviously an opportunity also to see how it actually works. Wherever user that you invite through the customized referrals links will reward you with 15% of the generated trading fees for the entire lifetime, whatever that is. So at the moment it might not come to much, but hopefully later on we will see some more and better improvements over time. Now on top of this, we need also to have a closer look and see how SAP and Bitcoin has developed. And the past couple of weeks we saw that things were actually developing quite nicely. They were going in a good and positive direction. Since then things have gone a bit, let's say, sideways again here, where we are having a top at point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros and then 5 0. And since then you can see it has been dropping again, not down to the old levels, but definitely it has lost around 30-40% here so far compared to when we were at 2000 and just entering 2024. But obviously there's still a bit to go, so things can happen very quickly. We also have a look at the SAP coins, and as you can see we actually only have one. Things started to look very well, so end of December 2023. But then all of a sudden we have a bit of a gap again here of about 12-13 days, and we only managed to get one 280 SAP in from our staking, which comes down to only 1.4%. So obviously not very much, and we're hoping for a bit more in the future. But on the PNY side, seems to have gone quite well. We have managed to get 1st of January, 2nd of January, 5th of January, 10th and 12th. So already 5 times in here. making it up to 665 PNY, and that actually also made a 4.2% over the past couple of weeks that we had the account staking set up here. So it seems like SAP is gone into a bit of a stall, and then PNY is certainly taking off at the moment. Obviously, very good news for us who stakes. Now, Bitcoin versus USD, that has also been in a bit of a turmoil, and then again, after 2 weeks since our last news report, we ended up pretty much in the same space as we were before. The little red circle is where we left it last time, which is pretty much where we are now. And then we saw a further increase, almost up to 46,000, dropping again down to 40,750, and then steadily but surely was moving up and almost hit the 50,000 mark, stopped at 48,969, only again to drop, and now trading similar at 42,550. So obviously things have gone up mostly, but have gone down again to the same level as we saw before. So it will be interesting to see how the Bitcoin development is going to be for 2024. There's obviously a lot of predictions, and normally as predictions go, they also go in 2 different directions. We're going to keep away from figuring out which way it's going to go. We're just going to sit back and report on it for now. We also have a bit of news regarding the Trillant platform, or well, similar news as what we had just before New Year's. And unfortunately, again, it's the important notice and the current legal review and measurement that has gone in. So that means there's certain things within the platform that is currently not operating at full speed. And some of the things are basically put in here. Again, deposit of Litecoin, Bitcoin to activate add-on packages. These things are on pause. So again, payout of Trillant and Trillant external on XD also paused at the moment. So there's a couple of things that is not really working, and hopefully this is just a temporary solution, but we still really want to get back to what it's all about, trying to make some serious money on the staking part. But still, so far, it's only the add-on packages, which is also on hold here at the moment. So not a good development at the moment for Trillant, as usual. A lot of talk, but seems like they have a hard time following through on all these things here. Continues to be the major issue. If we have a look also at the coinstore.com, if we have a look at the tree, the value of that has also gone down after a couple of weeks where we have seen it topping out at 0.00044, and last time when we left it, it was at 0.0003967. Since then, again, we have lost a bit of the value on it, so down now to 0.0003219. So again, not going in the right direction. Most probably has something to do with, again, that the platform is not working optimum as it should, and people are not getting the money out they would like to have at the end of the day. So maybe some people will get a bit tired of it. We move on to the money tree here. For week 1, we can see the money tree has been working extremely well. We had the bumpy start, if you remember, last year, but since then we have come very good. We have the low risk one. So in here, which is a bigger account of 10,000, so it did quite well this week with $421, 5.6%. And then we have the medium and high risk, which is only running on $5,000 accounts, and that is $150 on the medium, or 3.0%. And the high risk, we have made a small adjustment. So again, to reflect that it is a high risk one, $492, so 9.8%. We only take it one up on the lot sizing here, and that has meant quite a lot for that particular week. It won't always do that, but if you want to have a look at the development, we can see that it started off with the 5,000 as we mentioned before. So this is the medium risk account in here. Balance is now 5.6. Even the equity is up with 5,537, and you can see since back in July we have been having a very good development of the medium risk account overall here. So even though it took a bit of time and we actually lost a bit of money, the total return is still 10.8. Monthly return is obviously a bit down because it calculates in the time also, but we had 1.4. But we didn't want to delete the account again. We want to show exactly what is actually happening. and how the EA has developed, and we can see that it developed okay. History is 256 days, and we hope that we have found the sweet spot for the lot sizing, so also for the risk itself for that particular account. Going to week number 2, also here the money tree did okay, not impressive. Low risk did $54 or 0.7%. Medium risk has an open trade but hasn't managed to close anything, so that is a big 0 for that particular week. And then we have the high risk one, which only managed $2.67. So again, down to 0.1%, so very, very low. But overall, when we look at the accounts, also here we started off with a $5,000 account. We had a big drop, also as you can see here, bigger drop than what we had on the medium account. It was all the way down to, I think it was around 3,200 at the time. Since then, it has been moving quite well. You can see we made a little lot change in here. So that has now brought it back on the balance of just over $5,000. But still, equity is slightly short. Also here, history 259 days, and you can see all the different currency pairs that we have in here. So currently trading 10 different currency pairs. So it is still going in the right direction. It is making money all the time, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? Now the profit retriever for week 1, that one was a bit on the low side overall. And if we have a look at the top 5 EAs, we can see the silver one is the one actually topping out at $597 or 6.0%. Gold, which is always a good one and has been a good one almost ever since we started trading this a long time ago now, $574 or 5.7%. We have the Euro USD, which is normally one that does really well, especially when it doesn't trend too much, $421 or 4.2%. And then you have the Great British Pounds, AUD, at $413 or 4.1%. And last but not least, also Aussie Japanese number 2 signal, which can be extremely good and strong sometimes, $359 or 3.6%. Total, if you would have traded those 5 EAs, you would have made $2,363 or 4.7% over that particular week. Now, obviously, also we have week 2 just to have a look at. So let's quickly go over that one. US Swiss francs came in at a massive $861 or 8.6%. Then we had the gold actually staying up there 2 weeks in a row. Very, very strong performance, $827 or 8.3%. The FTSE 100 wanted to play in there also in third spot with $534 or 5.3%. And then we have Aussie Japanese once again, $479 or 4.8%. And then silver is closing off, dropping a bit further down the ranking list to number 5 with $356 or 3.6%. Overall, if you would have traded also that particular week, you would have made $3,057 or 6.1%. So very, very strong signals. You can see some of them go again from one to the next week. And if you had already those set up, you would definitely have done extremely well in the past couple of weeks. If we have a look at the entire portfolio, you can see again that it's going quite well. Weekly returns is 1.8, monthly returns 7.9. Don't forget that we are not increasing the lot size, even though our accounts are getting bigger. So overall, the return is actually higher. Profit factor 1.79. And look at the history, 666 days, quite massive. We are soon coming up to 2 years. And if you have a look at some of the profits, we can't even have all of the profits in here anymore. We can see that for the last many months, let's go to September, 11,400, October, 15,700, November, 14,183. We have December, which was a good one, 15,635. And January is already good at more than $9,000 on that particular portfolio. So it's simply ticking in quite nicely overall. Now on our website you can find a lot more details and information. Here is the link for our profit retriever portfolio overview, and then you can simply scroll down and have a look at the individual accounts. These are also the accounts that you can trade with the expert Forex coupling service. Just make sure again here that you have a look and see exactly what kind of money that you should trade these individual things with, because there is a difference in between trading gold, silver and indexes. You need a bit more money to make sure that you are covered, you don't run out and get a margin call, so just be aware of that. Now you can obviously also trade the profit retriever by yourself. Then you click this particular link over here, or you go to the copy link trading, and that will also show you a range of videos and how you can actually get started in here. So it's entirely up to you. Depends on what kind of trader you are, if you want to nerd about it yourself or you want somebody else to do it for you. Some of the other ones that are on the copy link service that we also are testing is the Trade Explorer. This is a set and forget robot, and we are quite surprised that this is still working so very well, because normally, as we mentioned, set and forget never seems to work. Unfortunately, or fortunately, in this case, it actually does quite well, and you can see the results here. 22 pair made $99, or 1% for that particular week, which was obviously a bit low compared to what we've seen in the past. The 10 pair one, which is a bit more of an aggressive setting, because there's only 10 pairs, made $472, or 4.7%. So that was another very good week for the 10 pair account. If we go for 1 second back to the 22 pair, you can see the development started here with a $10,000 account, and we're pretty much at an equity now here that is very, very close to 100%. So you are risk-free if you would have traded that one with us from the beginning. Down here you can see the history, 242 days, and you can see all the different currency pairs of the 22 that is also being traded. So it's running very nicely all the way through here. We are quite impressive with this EA. Monthly returns has been calculated to around 8.7%. Weekly returns on this, 2%. And you can find a lot more details on the coupling service. The link up here is 145C, should you want to trade this particular one. Trade Explorer for the second week. Again, this was also a bit low here with $90 or 0.9%. So again, on the low side, beginning of January. 10 pair one did again a bit better, $232 or 2.3%. So definitely another strong performance overall. And if we have a closer look at the 10 pair one, it actually looks like this. We also started here with a $10,000 account. I mentioned many times here now that we had a short little margin call that dumped a couple of thousand off here, but since then, look at it, how it's been taking off. Equity curve is at 23,122, so more than doubled. Total return, as it says here on FX Blue, 131%. So impressive. Monthly returns 10.8, weekly returns 2.5, and also here the history, 242 days. So extremely impressive. We really like this one here, and it's almost straight as an arrow all the way through. A few little bumps here and there. And normally when you have a bit of a jump up, also means that you had a bit of a drawdown. And then after that, it's coming good and cashing in a bit bigger than the previous time. Now we're also doing the Wave Liberator. We really like the Wave Liberator. So this is for week one, also the top 5 EAs. And this one here we are again setting up, as you can trade it with a $1,000 account. We do recommend that you use somewhere around 3,000 just to make sure that you are covered. It is quite a productive one. As you'll see here, the Aussie USD made $86 or 8.6%. So this is quite high on the percentage side just for an individual week. When you are running on a $1,000 account, and that's why we're saying there is room to basically control your greed and then put in a bit more money on the account to make sure it doesn't blow, because again, the Forex market, it is a bit volatile. Sometimes we are trying to keep it under control, but we have seen in the past that's not always possible. New Zealand USD, $65 or 6.5%. US Swiss francs, $57 or 5.7%. New Zealand Japanese, $53 or 5.3%. And then British pounds USD, $44 or 4.4%. So again, if you would have traded those 5 on, for example, 5 $1,000 accounts, you would have made $306 in that particular week here, or 6.1%. So that is definitely some very, very good numbers. Now the second one is for week 2. Also here, US Japanese, $61, 6.9%. So you can see again here, that is quite stable. Aussie USD, $53 or 5.3%. Also Swiss francs, $58 or 3.8%. British pounds USD, $37 or 3.7%. And then Great British pounds versus Japanese, $36 or 3.6%. So also here, for the second week, you made $225 if you would have copied those 5 links in here, or 4.5%. So definitely it is all up for grabs. Now we have this as a portfolio, and we actually set these ones up not on $1,000 accounts, but $10,000 accounts. And that was due to, we wanted to trade this also on the FTMO to see if we could control the drawdown that has to be within the 5%. And we started off with 13 accounts. As you can see here now, we have made about 8,000. So the equity is 138, 244. Look at the floating profit and loss, minus $170 on an account of 138. That is quite impressive. You'll see also here, total return so far is 8.5%. History is 146 days. So you go, well, the history is quite long and you haven't really made a lot of money. But again, monthly return 1.7. And the whole idea here is that the individual accounts that you saw in the beginning here also, so you can basically tweak them, you can turn them up. We are trying to trade them, so each account will only have a drawdown of roughly 300 to 350. And you can obviously see with the floating profit, we're keeping well within, because this is 13 accounts and they are all doing quite well. Now we can go and have a closer look and see which links that we have in here. You have the usernames, and up here, these are also the names for the coupling service at Expert Forex. You can see some of them has a number already, so these are the numbers for these accounts. We have a few more that hasn't got them yet, and Alex hasn't had time to give us the new numbers. That most probably will only happen next week. You have the balance for the individual accounts, and you have the equity. And if we have a quick look over the equity, you can see that every single one of them is over $10,000. The lowest one you have here is one of the new ones, 10,092. And if we have a look, it is actually this account down here, also New Zealand, 135, that it has made. And then the biggest one up here comes in the Euro Swiss francs at $1,084 in here, and that's link 150C. So these are doing quite well, and you can see the difference between the balance and equity. There's about $50 in here. So obviously it is kept extremely well under control. Now if you want to see it on another graph for the portfolio itself, you can have a look at this. You can see the nice development where we passed 8,000. And again, the numbers I showed you here before, the history 146 days. And then you can see the net profit that is coming in. And you can obviously sleep extremely well at night if you just keep the same lot size as we are. But it depends on if you want to actually trade it on a FTMO account or you want to trade it on your private account. That way you can go a lot higher than 5% drawdown. If you decide, okay, 20% is for you, you can actually go in and saying, okay, we want to have a 4 times bigger lot size, and we will then accept around 20% in drawdown. And then you can also calculate roughly what you're going to get here. So 4 times 1.7. In that particular case here, you'll end up somewhere in the region of 7% roughly. And you can even go higher if you want. But then again, the drawdown also follows with it. So it's entirely up to you how you want to deal with it. Now you can obviously go on our website. You can see the individual ones. So you don't have to subscribe to our portfolio one, so which you can't do at the moment until Alex gets everything up and running. But you can do the individual ones, and then you can then adjust the lot size up or down. So if, depending on if you are running $1,000 accounts, or in this particular case, as we say, be on the safe side, there's enough profit. So if you trade it on a $3,000 account instead, you know you can sleep well at night, even though the Forex market sometimes will throw us a bit of a curveball, so we can do all the back testing we want. But things have a way of developing way beyond what we have thought. Now we also have the Hedged EA, also from Expert Forex. And in previous weeks we showed exactly how we have 7 groups, and they have been set up and traded so that they are not repeating. So for group 1, you'll see you only have 1 USD, you only have 1 CAD, Swiss francs, Japanese. They are not repeating in here. So those 4 currencies are running on the same account, which is something we normally don't do, but we wanted to do it in this particular case. In this video here, we're going to have a look at focus number 2 and 3, because we already looked at group 1 a couple of weeks ago, but they are all developing quite nicely. So if we go and have a look and see how the group 2 actually is doing at the moment, it looks like this. And again, we started off with a $10,000 account. You can see there's a few days where it didn't really trade. You can see the currency pairs: Aussie Swiss francs, Euro Japanese, Great British Pound New Zealand, USD CAD. So again, none of them are going over again. In here we have the balance. So 12,591, there's an equity of just over 12,000. So the floating profit is in minus. Don't forget this one here, we cannot keep the drawdown within the 5%, but we are trying to keep it below at least 1,500 or so. But again, it has to be adjusted from time to time. Close profit says 2,500. And then you can see also total return so far that has been calculated is 21%. Monthly return has also been calculated here with FX Blue, the usual way they do it, at 32% a month, which is obviously quite high. So that also gives you a bit of leeway to actually dial down the margins if you have to. Weekly returns, have a look again, 7% weekly returns. So which is great, and you can see the account has history of 26 days, so obviously not too much yet. Trades per day is around 10. So obviously very nice development, but let's have a look at the next one. So this is the other group. Here we have the Aussie Japanese, Euro Swiss francs, Great British Pounds USD, and New Zealand CAD. Also here, nice and positive development overall. Started with $10,000, and you can see it has been moving up quite nicely. Balance 11,500. Equity, we have a minus at the moment on the floating profits and loss 121, but equity is still very nice and positive. Close profit 1,500. Total return so far 13.8% is calculated. Monthly return should be around 16.7, so that's a bit more like it. So that's a good place to be right now. Trade wins is quite high, 72%. And you can see the pips also that we have managed to do so far, 2,194. Trades per day is 5.7, and also here the trade history is 26 days. So everything is still brand new, of course, for this particular EA, but there's a lot more to come, and Alex also covers some of these things, as you will see here. Now, linked to success, we have some winning profit retriever, and profit retriever has now obviously been traded for a couple of years, as you saw. We have some of the longest receiving accounts in here, and Alex is going through couple of the settings that he has on the coupling service in this particular video, so that is definitely worth having a look into. The next one he has is also the hedge trading robot. The settings, again, having a look at the great returns and the ones with the low drawdown, trying to explain exactly how you can find the good or the bad signals within that particular one. So if you are interested in trying to do this for yourself, then you can go and have a look at this video here, as all the links will be in the video description below. Another video that Alex did here was the link account, a real account for the trading success, where he has gone in and sponsored a trader or two, and they have used these real accounts all to make a bit of money in here. So also a very good development. So it definitely works both on demo accounts, real accounts, and we can definitely also attest to that. We have the last video here from Alex, also this particular week, the double hedge strategy in action. Again, showing some of the results. As you can see, they look very similar to ours. Some of them have a bit of a higher, again, profits, but we are still looking at the drawdown. At the end of the day, we want to be quite certain that they are not out of proportion. Also here, Alex has 24 days, it says here. He has a bit of a higher return, Monthly return is up to 70%, but we do believe that it's a bit risky. But anyway, we'll have to see how we're going to come through that in the near future. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. We hope, as always, that you enjoyed all the details, information, all our different strategies as we show you here exactly what is moving, how the profits are, if things are going positive or negative. But luckily, most of all the trading especially, so we can see very, very good development. So we'll continue to update you on this. So please, if you remember, so give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a comment in here of what you like to see in the future, or what you would like us to avoid also. But obviously we will try and accommodate as much as we can. So until my next video, see you around. Bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.